And we are live, baby. Yo, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. Today is the 31st, July 31st. Um, let's get straight into it, man. So, we got a few things here that I wanted to point out. I just finished up this, our top down analysis, and there's a few things I want to point out before the market opens here. We have we have this like sideways range right now. Kind of see it right here in the 1 minute, right? We're at the top part of this range here. So I expect price to maybe play to trade within this area here. Unless we see a strong break above this resistance up here, then I would expect higher highs, but I really think that price may potentially just stay within this area here. And right now we're looking at ES, but it's the same story. It's the same picture here with NASDAQ. Same story, same price action. Maybe just a few differences, but yeah, we're within this range here from 45.50, from 45.88 up to 46.18. We have this range here, right? So I do expect price to maybe find some resistance up here, like we have so far, and make some lower lows, testing the bottom of this 45.88. Unless within like the first 30 minutes of the market open, we see a strong break above this 46.18. And once again, it's the same thing with NASDAQ here. NASDAQ, we're within this range here, and like I said, I do expect price to play within this area here. So with that said, there are a few levels that I am considering. This 2 hour demand zone starts from right here, 15,863 down to 15,835. Again, this could potentially bring price up, and if we do manage to break above these levels of resistance, then I do expect price to make higher highs. If we break below this, if we break down this 2 hour demand zone, break below this 15,834, then I do expect price to test these lower levels down here. That's just an overall glimpse of what I'm predicting. But once again, as day traders, we want to react. So we're going to react to what the market offers, the opportunity that it sets up for us, and we'll go from there. But once again, just point out these levels. These are definitely levels that I'm considering. Support down here, support here, very strong rejection here. So I definitely keep an eye on this one. And then we have a 30-minute demand here. But once we get to those levels and we see how price reacts, will we actually validate them or invalidate them? It's just these levels here are meant to be broken, right? I say that every single session. These levels here are meant to be broken. They're not the holy grail. What the holy grail is what I would consider the holy grail is price action, right? So we have to wait until price hits one of these key levels, and then like right now, right? If we go down to our lower time frame here, we're seeing price bounce off of this 2 hour demand zone. So this may be significant here. This may be significant, right? Once again, this was a 2 hour demand zone. We came in here, we saw a lot of volume come in, and now we're starting to make higher highs here. So this may be significant. And the same thing with ES. We do have I'm gonna just mark down a few things here. Once again, I'm highlight as soon as we get new information, I'm interpreting it, I'm highlighting stuff, pointing out new levels, right? So that could be a key level there. If we end up breaking below this level, I'd be interested in going short. Because looking at the grand scheme of things, we've broken below this trend line here. We've broken below. We're seeing some really strong volume. We've tested the highs, and now we're seeing a little uptick here from buyers. But if sellers manage to break below this, then this could offer a really nice opportunity to the downside. That's gonna let us know that sellers are indeed strong. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at right now. And that's just my way of finding confirmation, validating a trade. I know a lot of people get in as we touch these levels, which is completely fine if it works for you, but I like to find confirmation, and when I do that, it allows me to keep my risk very small. So we have 3 minutes till the market opens here. 3 minutes till the market opens, and once again, I'm looking for this breakdown here. I'm open to taking it short. If we break past this level here, I'm open to taking it short. I see a lot of aggression right now. ES is making lower lows. If we break below this level here, I'm gonna go short. 15.857 is, or 15.855. So I'd be risking about 5-7 points here, which isn't a lot. Trading NASDAQ. However, I'm looking both, as you guys notice, I'm looking both at NASDAQ and ES. I want to see what both of them are doing. All right, so it looks like sellers are having a hard time here. So there's two levels that I'm looking at right now. It's either we break above that level there, or we break below it. I just don't like that we're finding these little rejections here. But if we do manage to break below it or break above it, I'd be interested in going long. So I'm at a crossroad right now. It's either I go to the right or I go to the left. In this case, it's either I go long. Once we break above this level, I go long, or I go short if we break below this 15.855. But I think I may hold off because I'm getting mixed signals here from ES and NASDAQ, so I'll let you guys know once I'm in. But we did just see a nice rejection here. And once again, this is quite of a riskier play, especially within the first few minutes of the market being open. I'm gonna just avoid this entirely. Just don't like the price action here. We did just bounce off that trend line there, bouncing off a few levels here. And I'm getting mixed signals here. I see ES. They're not really, they're not moving the same right now. So that's one of the reasons I kind of just prefer to wait until we get some solid action, some solid price action. All right, so we're seeing some aggression here from buyers. Now, once again, if we find resistance up here, I would expect price to I would expect price to test the lows like I mentioned earlier today. I think we're gonna break below this and make some lower lows here. Yep. This is why very risky to trade within the first few minutes. Right? You can tell how the pendulum just swings from right to left. It's very tough to tell where the overall direction is going to be when looking at the first few minutes. So I'm gonna hop in short here below this. If we can get to this 15,869, I'd be open to going short here. I just need to see a little bit of okay. Nah, I'm looking at price action right now. It's just I just don't feel it. I just don't feel like it's the right setup. Although we are forming some nice little opposing zones here, which is what I like to look for, but it's very aggressive. So I have to see I have to see price kind of slow down a little bit before I can hop in. But look how volatile that's been. very volatile action here. It's hard for me to get in right now. Not until I really feel it, and this right now is it would just be a little too risky in my opinion. And if we once again if we look at those higher time frames, just notice we're kind of balanced, right? We're in this balanced range. A lot of volume has traded within this range here. Just look at Friday. Look at where most of the volume was traded. It was traded within this range here, so it makes it tough to really find an edge. Not until we can break past a few levels here, either make higher highs, make lower lows, whatever it is. We're just gonna have to wait though. Yeah, and ES isn't really helping here. ES is also very choppy right now. We're seeing rejections on both ends. So I should probably mark these down here. Rejection up here. Rejection up there. Let's make this a dark color. And then rejection down here, right? So once again, like I said earlier, I like to interpret the new information that we're getting, be aware of it, consider it, because if we're seeing strong rejections like this, we could potentially see a bounce up here. Not looking to get in. This is not my style of trading, but we could potentially see a rejection up here, and then if we see another confluence, maybe that would be good enough for me to get in. As of right now, I'm just speaking hypothetically. I'll let you guys know as soon as I get in though. I do need to see quite a few confluences before I choose to get in right now. I don't like where we're at. NASDAQ just bounced above that VWAP. Very strong rejection there. ES2. Yeah, there's no edge in my opinion. Also notice the spikes in volume here. Right at 634 we had such a huge spike in volume. That's when NASDAQ tested VWAP for the first time. However, we're seeing a decrease in volume here on ES. A little decrease in volume. And some of you may be asking, oh, well, you may be wondering why I still have that trend line there. And even though we broke below it, right? But sometimes you'll see stuff like this where we break below it and then we hold, right? It acts as a level of support or resistance sometimes. Not always, but it's a nice little gauge for me. I like to use these trend lines just to kind of gauge the structure, visualize the structure, it makes it easier for me. But you don't have to use the trend lines. I'm just explaining as to why I like to use them. So this last candle that just formed here on the 2 minute, uh, very low volume in comparison to the other ones. If you trade these kinds of conditions, I would just go for like a little layup, right? And what I mean by that is just go for a quick target, a quick little scalp, get in, get out, because there's no continuation here. There's zero continuation here. So if you do happen to get in, like I said, just go for a quick little bucket, get in, get out, and because this, in my opinion, is very risky. There's no continuation. There's no direction. We're in a balanced range. And from my point of view, it seems like if you do get in, where exactly are you going to put your stop loss? I like to use the candles. I like to. I allow the candles to tell me where to put the stop loss, if that makes sense. A lot of people have a predetermined stop loss, like they may just be willing to risk 10 points. But I just use the candlesticks to tell me where to get in. All right, ES here is it looks like it may potentially make higher highs here. We just pierced through that level, and we are finding a little more volume here. So again, not sure what to make of this action. Alright, so we broke past this level here, and now we're testing this upper line here. However, this isn't the line that I'm concerned about. The level of resistance that I'm concerned about is a few points above it, and you'll see it right about now. That's the line that I think will find a rejection. There it is. That's that. That's the one right there. I don't know, this tough to make sense of this. This could potentially find some buy. I mean, buyers are clearly strong, right? I don't know how strong these sellers are up here, but we could potentially find some support here and then make some higher highs. I'm just guessing at this point. I mean, price can either go up or down, but it's tough to really know where price wants to go here. Yikes. Very strong rejection there. These past few days, I have been taking trades a little earlier. Like I've been taking last week, I think I took a couple trades before the market opened, and I held them through market opened. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't. But today there really isn't there's no edge for me right now. I don't know if you guys are seeing something. I'd love to see. I'd love to hear what you guys got. As of right now, I'm just waiting until I get that set up. I'm gonna take a peek here at ES. Okay, I think I might take a stab here long. Once we get above 15,875 here on NASDAQ, I'm gonna take it long. I like what's happening here on ES. We're bouncing off of this opposing zone. Yeah, if we can get above 15,877 here on NASDAQ, I'm gonna hop in long. 15,877. That's what I'm looking at. All right, we're in
Order
long.
filled.
Stop loss is right at 15,870. So we're risking about 9 points here. I like that we bounced off of this here on ES. It's a better visual here on the 5 minute. I'll show you guys right after this play if it works out. But I am in long, and I'm expecting price to test the highs here. So I'm gonna go for a quick scalp.
Stop filled.
All right, well, there it is. We got stopped out. But I was looking at this here on ES. On the 5 minute we have it here, right? So we broke past this on ES. Right, we had a really hard time breaking past it in the beginning. We broke past it, we held it once, and I was seeing this bounce off of ES here, so I figured NASDAQ would follow suit and make higher highs, but it didn't. All right, I'm noticing another opportunity here. Let's see if that's if we get a. I'm gonna take you back to NASDAQ here, but this is if only if we can see a strong rejection here. If we could bounce off of this level and then break above this 15,878. The only thing that I don't like about that is we're kind of in the middle of the range, right? So nope, I'm gonna invalidate it. Broke below it. Not really what you want to see here. Jeez Louise, look at that. We are a little overextended here. I'm curious to see if we're gonna rubber band back. Alright, just pointed out a level here on ES. And then I'm noticing here another support level. I'm trying to identify where price may end up stopping, because I do think we're a little overextended here. Yeah, I'm not looking to play this, man. I mean, the thesis worked out. The morning thesis worked out, right? Is if we saw a strong rejection down here, I did expect price to come down to these lower levels. So we did have a pretty strong rejection here overnight at this 15. So we're seeing a little bounce there, a little relief bounce. I don't know if we're gonna go back up here, but there was a strong little bounce here overnight, which explains this little bounce that we're seeing right now. DXY looks want to keep selling off. The internals are positive tick, so I'm expecting ES to go higher. Yeah, that was my thought process when I went in long, but didn't work out like I thought it would. But once again, that's why it's important to keep that risk pretty small. I was only risking about 9 points on that one, on Nasdaq, which isn't a lot. But this right here is a falling knife. I'm not a fan of trying to spot or trying to catch, the bottom of this. Although we are seeing a little bit of support here, right? We're seeing quite a bit of support here, but this isn't my trading style here, which is why I didn't go short here, just because I don't trade that way. I need to wait for a little bit of confirmation before I can hop into a trade. But as of right now, you guys can tell we're below VWAP. We are a little overextended, which I think we could potentially see some kind of relief bounce. I don't know if this is that relief bounce that I'm talking about, but although volume has kind of slowed down a little bit. So yo, if you guys can hit the like button, we got 5 viewers on here, which I appreciate. I love to see it. If you guys can hit the like button, I would highly appreciate it. We took a little paper cut right now. We're 30 minutes into the market open. We got a long day ahead of us, so let's just stick to the plan. Plan your trade your plan. You know how it goes. For me, it's a little difficult to trade under these conditions just because it'd be foolish of me to think that we're going to have some continuation, especially under these conditions. Like, we're in a sideways range, so I think it'd be a little foolish for me to expect continuation, and that's usually when I trade the best. I think we could all agree on that. It's when we have continuation, when we're trending, it's so much easier, right? It's a breeze to trade, but when we're choppy like this, especially, I mean, the first few minutes of the market open really let us know what was going to happen, right? It, just looking at the price action, it was super choppy, swinging right to left. So just looking at those first few minutes, it really lets you know how the day could potentially go. And sure enough, we we're bouncing right now. Price is playing ping pong, going from one side to the other, and again, these conditions for me aren't favorable, but either way, we're gonna try to do our best and try to catch a good move here. But as of right now, I really don't want to get in just to get in. We're seeing that bounce there, and we are gonna approach VWAP here. We're breaking past VWAP on ES. We're approaching VWAP here on Nasdaq. We should technically find a little bit of resistance here, all right? Because this is the level that we broke past before that huge drop, and we are in this like fair value gap here. If you're looking at the 1 minute, this right now is a fair value gap. So we should technically, right? Technically speaking, we should find a little bit of resistance here, but I don't know. I think we ought to consider the context here. The context right now is we're in a sideways range, so if we could potentially just keep going back and forth, test the highs, test the lows, test the highs, test the lows. So I just wrote down the first minutes of the market open will tell you the behavior. Like I was talking about earlier, it gives you a pretty good gauge of how price may react. And I was just thinking about the last week, and there was several days where Nasdaq it picked one direction and it kept going in that direction, right? And that's the difference between those days and today, where we didn't see a clear direction in the first few minutes. We saw a lot of choppiness going back and forth. Same thing with ES, right? So I think it's important to consider those first few minutes, as volatile as they can be. I think they do tell us something, while also considering context. You know how in real estate they say location. I think it ought to be the same thing for trading. Location. Like, where is price relative to the environment, if you will, right? So we're seeing that balance here, right? We found some support here. We saw a decrease in volume, and now we're seeing a relief bounce here. You know what would be great is if we can break below this here, If we can break below that, I'm gonna take a stab at it going short. I need to see some nice increasing volume breaking below that shaded box that I just drew. That's if we could get below it. That's if we can get below it, I'd be interested in going short. Because ES right now, we're breaking below VWAP. We're breaking below VWAP on ES. We had just gone above it, now we're getting below it. So that's one confluence there. I guess the only thing I don't like is that there's not really a level to base this trade idea off of. I'm invalidating that trade. Let's take a look at what the equities are doing. I like to watch Microsoft and Apple here. Microsoft making lower lows. We're seeing similar to what Nasdaq's doing, a little bounce after making lows, and Apple's just somewhat ranging. It has made some lower lows, but we're back in that balanced range, right? So similar story. Very tough to trade this. There's not really an edge here. So I'd prefer to just sit on my hands until we can really find something worth trading. I may take a stab at this if we break below it, because we are finding a little bit of a rejection here. So if we can break below this, I'm going to go short. I would need to see ES get below VWAP once again. But we're having a hard time making higher highs here, so. And I like the volume that's coming in right now. This 15,841, that for me is where I want to get in if we break below it. Color. It's just, price is just having a hard time here. It does bring down my confidence a little bit. Just seeing price hesitating, seeing price slow, like. Yeah. Alright, well, we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait here. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button. And just so you guys know, anyone new here, we're live streaming every single morning. I'm here 10 minutes before the market opens. 10 minutes before the market opens. That's when I log on. I'm on here breaking down the levels that I'm watching, and yeah, so you guys are more than welcome. Come through. And this week should be exciting, right? I mean, I like to stay optimistic. Tomorrow we will have JOLTS, the JOLTS economic event, manufacturing PMI. That's tomorrow, and then unemployment claims on Thursdays. ISM services PMI. Do I care what they're gonna report? No, I don't. I just like to obviously be aware of the time that they're released, because we will see some volatility. But I'm just a technical analysis trader. I don't look at fundamentals. I don't look at economic events. I am aware of them. I am aware of the time that they're released. But I'm just strictly a technical analysis trader, just looking at levels, looking at price action, looking at volume. That's what works out for me. And I just prefer that, to be honest. I try not to have a bias. I think with fundamental analysis, you kind of have to have a bias, right? If the report is good, you're looking to go long. If the report is bad, you're looking to go short. But um, I won't say more than that. That's as far as I know, right? But if you're a technical analysis trader, once again, this may be it for you. Come through. I'm constantly dropping little nuggets, little gems of what I'm looking for, my strategy. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of defense, right? We're seeing price have a hard time here. This could just very well be a consolidation here, since we are right in the middle of not only VWAP but this range here, right? We're right in the middle, so we could potentially just consolidate here. And with these consolidations, usually we'll have like a very strong move to one side, and then price will fake out and then go to the other side. That's what I've noticed with these consolidations, because you really need price to swing, right? You want price to swing, but you don't want to fall for that first swing. That's what I've noticed. Gotta post this on the story. If you're not following me on Instagram, my handle is trading.gear. Trading.gear. You know, I try to post content on there as much as I can. Gotta let them know. Not much to say. This right here is nothing. It really isn't nothing. Microsoft, Apple is coming up to resistance. Had a hard time breaking past these levels in the morning, so we're seeing some resistance with Apple. Microsoft, some consolidation. It's just not what you would want to see for a beautiful Monday, right? What are you guys looking at? I'm interested to know, what are you guys taking any trades? Is this your edge? ES is making higher highs. Okay, we broke past that consolidation. Okay, okay. Again, don't fall for the first move, you guys. That's just me. Or not financial advice. Do as you wish. But what I've learned is you don't want to fall for that first move. The homies in long, aiming 46.20. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Plan your trade, trade your plan. Don't deviate from your plan, you guys. If you see your setup, take it. Don't hesitate. That's exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm just having a hard time finding something here. There it goes. Ooh, baby. This for me may offer short opportunity. If we can get below 15,850. 15,850 here. Ooh, I need to see that immediate retest. Let me get that immediate retest. Come on. We just broke below it. But I want that immediate retest. Don't you go below. Don't you go any further. Come back to that 15,850, please. All right, we got 1850, but I want to see candle close. All right, we're in.
Order filled.
We're in short. Stop loss. Put it right at 15,860. Let's see if this where we got to stay below this EMA though. We got to stay below VWAP. If we get back above VWAP, I'm going to just take a small loss here. Come on. it goes. Boom. See how like 1 second you see something, next you don't, and then the next you may see something, and then just things change so fast. So that's why I prefer live streaming over Discord personally, just because um, if you're a scalper slash day trader, like I said, things change so fast. All right, I like this. I like what I'm seeing here. I'm gonna target the lows here. Let's see if we can test the lows down here, 15,806. Right now we're currently up on the position. We got in right at 15,849.5. I like what ES is doing. Broke below this opposing zone on ES. I'll show you guys right after the play what exactly I was looking at. Let's just hope it works out. I wouldn't want to see this, turn around. Let's continue to make higher highs here, please. I just need to see ES get below VWAP here, because if we find some support here, that's gonna be a red flag. So I'm actually gonna move my stop loss just a tad bit. I'm gonna risk about 5 points on this one on NASDAQ, which isn't a lot. It's half of what I normally risk. So I'll still give it a little bit of room to breathe, but I do just want to see a straight move to the downside if we can get it. A straight move to the downside, testing the lows. I'm actually going to draw something here. That little trend line that I just drew, that's for future reference. Don't pay too much attention to it right now. All right, we're breaking below VWAP on ES. Once again, I'm looking for that test here, the lows. So I'm now gonna move my stop loss at break even. You guys cool with that? Break even. So there's no way I can lose on this position. It's a risk-free trade. Let's hope that we can test the lows here at 15,807. That's my first target profit, and then below that we have 15,795. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but I do need to see price continue to make lower lows here. We're back above VWAP on ES, which I don't like to see. If ES gets above 46.12, then I'm gonna have to get out. No, but I really like what price is doing right now. The only thing is this little support here. There's this little area here, right, that's giving us a hard time. This little area here at 15,827, that's the one that you'd expect a little bit of support, right? Because we broke past it with some volume, so we do see a little bit of support, but I'm speculating a break here. now we just wait. I don't like that we're above VWAP here on ES. I may get stopped out here. My stop loss is at break even, so we'll see what ends up happening here. But close to getting stopped out, and stop filled. All right, well, ES, this is what I was looking at. So if we go to ES, we saw a little break of this trend line here, which made me think, hey, maybe it's a retracement, right? Then we saw a nice little break past this opposing zone here. And I don't know, maybe this level here holds. I'm not entirely, but if we break above it, then we could potentially, we will see higher highs here. But if we'll see what happens with this level here. But we are seeing some nice momentum to the upside. Yeah, so once we break above this, I would expect higher highs here. Yeah, there it goes. So that was my trade idea. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. There it goes back down. So I mean, this could potentially just be from that level, that VWAP, which is, you should always be expecting a little bit of support, a little bit of resistance from VWAP, and sometimes it acts as hard support, hard resistance. You just can't break past it. So always have to consider VWAP, in my opinion. And that was that level that I was playing right now, that level that this was the level here. So we are respecting it so far. We're respecting it, but I didn't want to see it get back above the way we're doing right now. So that's one of the reasons I just put my stop loss at break even. I thought maybe if it did pull back, it'd be a lower probability trade. So I wasn't willing to hold on to this position. You know, I will point out we're starting to see a little bit of a wedge here on both on ES and Nasdaq. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we are seeing a little bit of a wedge here. Now that may mean something to you. It may not, right? That's something that I'm definitely considering. We're within this wedge here. I think once we break past it, we will see that move that everybody's been longing for, right? Got me doing things I never do. So I think that's that first move that I was talking about. Don't fall for that first move. That's that first move I was talking about. Let's see what happens here. I'm not entirely sure, right? I don't claim to be a fortune teller, but that could potentially be that first fake out. I'd be interested to see where this goes from here. Because if we can get above this 15,852 level, if we just reverse, I'd go long here. So that's actually where I'm actually looking to go long here. If we can break above that little shaded box there. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let's see that reversal here. We're respecting the wedge. Price is starting to turn around. Okay. We saw a very nice increase in volume. If this turns around and we break above 15,852, I'd be open to getting in here. All right, I'm hopping in.
Order filled.
I like that. Stop loss, a little tight here. 15,845. We're bouncing off of VWAP here on ES. We're breaking above VWAP here on NASDAQ. Let's see it. Come on. Let's break above that wedge here. That would be nice. All right, let's go. Vámonos. Could we test the highs? Should we go for the highs here? If we can test these highs, I think that's, for me, I like that as my target profit. My profit target up here at these highs is 15,902. Let's see it. Got in at 15,851. The only concern here is this little rejection here, but I think we could potentially break past it with this amount of momentum. So I would need to see a break past this here. So if we can break above that, that'd be nice. That would be very nice. So I told you guys, don't fall for the first move. We saw a nice increase in volume right to the downside. Made a lot of people think like, hey, we're going down. And you know, we right immediately after we reversed. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I need to see this play out. Let's hope we can break past this 15,869 level, break past it, and then test the highs. That's what I'm going for. So I do feel pretty confident about this one. This is probably the best play so far. So let's hope this thing doesn't backfire on us. ES, the one thing that I'm looking for on ES is we have this little trend line here. I want to see a break above it. Break above that trend line. I think we'll break past this level here. Let's break past that level. And I'm actually going to move my stop loss right at break even. So once again, risk-free trade. Don't want to see it get below this. Right, because if we do get below my entry, that would mean that we're now below VWAP, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see us get below VWAP again. We need to see a strong move to the upside, and I really think we're going to get it. After seeing that nice move to the downside, this little move here, and then seeing this immediate reversal, I think we could potentially get a higher move up here. So that for me is the only concern, is if we can't break past this, and we are finding a little bit of resistance here. Got me doing things I never do. Come on, baby. Come on now. I like that we haven't, even though we did test this level, we haven't rejected, right? Although we can't break past it, I like that. It may seem like we're finding a little bit of acceptance here, so this is, in my opinion, it is a good sign. Usually, you'd see a strong rejection just like we did here, right? We would come up and immediately reject it and then make lower lows, but in this case, it's a little different, right? Because we've already tested it twice and we haven't came down any lower. So buyers, you can say that price is finding acceptance. Buyers are doing a good job, but we got to see a break here, because if we keep rejecting this, that's also a red flag, because buyers do want to bring this up, right? Could this be it? Could this be the break that we've been longing for? Come on now. Come on. I like that candle right there. That's a nice candle. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I have marked down on ES. On ES, we have this little trend line here, and I need to see us break past that trend line, right? There it is. There it is. We're making higher highs here on NASDAQ. And I'm actually going to move my stop loss right beneath this here. So stop loss is right around this area here. Let me just use this as my stop loss. Right around that area there. Actually a little lower. It's about right there. So I don't want this to get below this this level of resistance that we just broke, right? And if it does, I would want to see price collect some buyers down here and then make some higher highs, because we are seeing break below that. I'll make an adjustment here, and I'll actually, yeah, no, I like this. I like my stop loss at where it's at. I don't want to move it. I like it where it's at. It's at 15.58. It's about right here, right on top of this. 15.5. Yep, that's the spot. 15.858. Let's hope we can have some continuation, right? I love the entry. I like the setup. I need to, now it's just, we're literally in the hands of the market. If it finds some continuation, great. If it doesn't, we may just have to get out prematurely, right? But I am looking for a test up here. I want to see us get back up to these levels, which would be a nice 50-point move. And we're only risking, it's now a risk-free trade, but originally we were risking about, from 51, that's where we got in, down to this lower wick, so 47. So we were only risking about 5 points on that one, which is not normal to. It's unusual for me to be risking so little on NASDAQ, but again, I allow the candles to tell me where to put my stop loss and where to put my entry. That's just me. That's how I trade. I don't have a predetermined stop loss. I prefer to let the markets tell me where to put my stop loss. That's how I see it. I don't like that ES is having a hard time. Yeah, we may end up getting stopped out here. I don't like that ES is having a hard time breaking past making higher highs here.
Stop filled.
All right, we got stopped out. No, I really hope I didn't just get stopped out and then it moves higher. That would suck. Bruh. 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 Oh my god. I swear to God. I swear to God. If this bitch just stopped me out just to make higher highs, I swear to God. Dude, I swear, this market, it makes grown fucking men cry. How can you do that shit to me? This shit this thing better go down now. I don't. That's my pride talking. That's my pride talking. Forgive me. But I think we're actually gonna break down here. I think we could potentially make lower lows here. I'm looking at ES and I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make out of this action here. It's Jesus Christ. I think this thing just stopped me out and said, "Fuck you. We're dipping without you." There it goes. This thing literally just stopped me out just to make higher highs. Ugh. I hate to see it, man. I guess I maybe should have not put my stop loss there. I mean, I'm not gonna blame the market, of course, but ain't that some shit, right? Literally just came down to my stop loss, came down to that level, and just turned around. There it goes. That's what I wanted to see. That's exactly what I wanted to see. All right, you guys. I'm gonna take a little restroom break. I'll be right back. Okay. That's the play though. That was it's looking pretty good right now. Um, if I were still in, I'd be targeting the highs here. I don't like what ES is doing. If you guys take a look at ES, it's consolidating here. But at least here on Nasdaq, we're seeing price moving. But I'll be right back. the play right there. That was the play. Let's see what we got. And it's just very slow, man. Not really what you'd expect for a Monday. Sorry, bro. ES seems to follow NQ today. Yep. It seems like ES is slowing down NQ, bro. Like ES isn't really doing much, but there it goes. There it goes. Well, I mean, I still think we will get the test of these highs, so I'm gonna just have to wait until then, right? Not unless we find some kind of rejection. I don't know. I mean, the only concern, if we were to pretend like I was still in the trade, my only concern would probably be we're testing this level here. I mean, somewhere in this area, right? Maybe we could find, some resistance. But if we do have some strong momentum and we're making higher highs, then I think it's fair to say we might get this the test of this 15902 and even potentially break it. We'll see how that goes. But so far looks like buyers are holding up this this price here. ES is now starting to break out of the consolidation. We have to worry about this 46.15 level. That's we saw a pretty strong rejection there at 7:30. And I am in sunny California, which explains the Western time, right? 7:30. And this is one of the reasons why I hopped over to NASDAQ, just because, man, ES has been it's been rough, man. It's been tough to trade, and I really don't have the patience for it right now. Like, ES was like my main squeeze, but I had to rotate her, man. I had to. So now I still keep an eye on her, but NQ is now my main squeeze. I'm trading her for the most part, and it's just a little more exciting, man. Like, just, you hate to see consolidation like this, man. Like, imagine having to sit through a trade here. I mean, no offense to the homie who got in, who the trade idea has worked out, man. I know you were targeting originally 46.20. It still seems to be valid, right? But I mean, just having to sit through this, I've been there. I know it's rough, so that's one of the reasons why I just consider it. I don't trade it. NASDAQ, there's less liquidity in NASDAQ. This is something that's very well known. Nasdaq just runs a little more smoother, a little faster. But if I were trading this, I would not want to be. I would not want to be in this. Like, this is very slow, very lackluster. There's not much action. This, on the other hand, I mean, you can tell we're making higher highs. Doesn't look too shabby, right? But maybe it will be a PM session. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, man. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we can get a better afternoon session. Although we did have a really nice move, right? Like, if I don't know if there's anyone in here that caught this move, right? This rejection up here. I don't know if there's anyone in here that caught that move, but goddamn, you would have banked had you caught this. For me, that's just not it's not something I trade. But had you caught that move, shit, so far that's the best move of the day. And you hate to see this, man. I mean, you hate to see this. So we're finding some resistance up here at these levels. Again, not what you would want to see, but what can you do, man? Got me doing what you won't do. I'm just extending that trend line there. Maybe we find some support. We do have that VWAP once again. Definitely something to consider. Ooh. I mean, ES, right? We're rejecting off of that 46.15. Once again, that's a level that you just have to consider it, man. We had a pretty strong rejection there, right? We failed to get above it again. And now we're breaking below a few levels of interest here. What the fuck was I looking at? Stupid ass train. We may see lower lows here. Let's see. This is I'm looking at ES right now, and I'm paying attention to it because I'm noticing a few things here. Right, so we had that strong rejection up here, and then we broke past this strong green candle here, saw some nice volume to the downside, and now we're rejecting it. So we're making lower lows here. So this right here for me is bearish. I just can't seem to spot anything on NASDAQ. It seems like the setup here is a little more clear on ES. And we actually, look, we broke past that trend line there. Another reason to get in, right? Obviously that VWAP, and then we have support down here. So there's still a few things to be concerned about, and we are balanced. It does make it a lower probability setup. Anything right now, in my opinion, is just a lower probability setup because there's no continuation. But if you want to scalp these moves, 46.13 down to 46.09, just take what you can get at this point. There it goes. Yes, is testing a level of support here, but if it can break below that, then I think we could potentially. Oh, you guys are seeing it here. You guys are actually looking at ES right now on my screen. Yeah, so if we can break below this, that'd be a good sign. But you don't want to see it get back above VWAP. You don't want to see it get back above VWAP. If we turn over to NASDAQ though, it's looking pretty solid to the downside. I mean, not something that I would get in right now, but as ES was pulling back into that zone that I drew, you know, NASDAQ did the same thing, kind of pulled back, and now we're seeing lower lows here. We're below VWAP, looking pretty solid, honestly. This is the only level that I would be concerned about. I guess we do have this level to consider as well. We do have that level as well. I personally think it'd be wise if you just protect yourself. Anytime you get into a position, try to make it a risk-free trade. Just because we're in a range, dude. It's tough to find continuation right now. We're literally in the middle of a range. So if you're gonna hop in speculating continuation, you know, just protect yourself. That's one of the reasons I was moving my stop losses. I think it's about that time. We call it not much of an edge, right? And I really think it's probably better to come back later, see if the context is different. So once again, I appreciate you guys showing up. We're live streaming every single morning. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe. I'll be here. All right. Peace.